I was treated like a common criminal. The Nigerian police on Monday arrested Punch correspondent Chijebube Ikioma for covering Imo State widows who were protesting 6 months arrears of salaries owed to them by Governor Hope Uzodinma's administration. Speaking after he was detained and released by the police, Ikioma said he was treated like a common criminal by security men attached to the office of the governor of Imo State. According to him, I feel pains internally owing to the beating of the policemen gave me. The chief security officer to the governor compelled me on gunpoint to delete my video footages of the widows. My life is in Christ Jesus. Oh, okay. I mean, this is obviously absolutely wrong. I mean, honestly, I don't know. This is foundation I've forgotten. During the June 12 protest, there was this foundation that, sort of is like a body of lawyers, independent, of course, and they'd help you when it comes to things like this. But then it's like, this man not doing anything for himself. I mean, if a story like this should come out in a very normal country, I mean, to be honest, being realistic, this kind of news right now would not be treated with the utmost severity that it should deserve. But in other countries that are normal, where actual human rights are actually being exercised, or they seem to be exercised, this would be a huge issue where Hope Uzodinma would be shivering and scared because it's like, yo, this could ruin his political career as well as the party that he represents. So again, it's like, normally what should happen is that we'd analyze this news and then, Hope Uzodinma would be getting a lot of backlash, absolutely. But in a country that, that justice isn't served and politicians do not get to be responsible for the decisions that they make, or just, take accountability. They don't do that. So again, with this, you can analyze all you want, but, what will happen? Nothing. Because again, I think this just shows the how will I say it, the inefficiency of his administration. I mean, you don't pay your salaries. You don't pay salaries for 6 months for widows, and of course, this person being a Punch correspondent, has now been beaten, detained, and all that. I mean, obviously that's wrong. And speaking of the fact that he's a Punch correspondent, in his contract, I mean, I don't even know how labor laws work in Nigeria, even if, or are there even labor laws? But technically, you can argue that that Punch, his company, could literally, provide him a lawyer and make sure that justice is served and the man is fine. That is what it is. Obviously, this is very much sad. It should not happen. And this should be very, very big news. But then again, in a country like Nigeria, where we have terrorist sympathizers and all that in government, and you have unnecessary people giving their opinion on topics that do not concern them or do concern them, it's just very, very hard to yeah, it's hard. So yeah, let's look at the comment section. Somebody says, I repeat, everything about APC politicians is full of evil. There must be a secret these people are driving at, which might be dangerous than an atomic bomb. All right. If this story is true, Hope Uzodinma, when will you stop harassing your people? No governor has intimidated people in Imo like you. I thought that by now you should have won the heart of many Imolites through good relationship and governance. Well, I don't think he cares, to be honest. I mean, he's very much like a brutal sort of, I don't know how to describe him, but the fact is, I don't think, as a whole, the country does not really value accountability as much as it should, especially with those in power. We don't do that. You can analyze it on a macro scale or in a micro scale when it comes to the way we relate with each other, especially if you look at the family and accountability of people in power that would not necessarily own up to the fact that they've made mistakes. You know what? I just drifted to a whole new conversation. But what I'm trying to say is that we don't have a system of accountability where people in power take account for the fact that they've done something wrong, or they've not been the best. And in this case, in Nigeria's history, I don't think that was ever happened where a politician will take accountability. A popular one that we know of. So yeah, again, I might be generalizing, but again, with the general view of how politicians are, you can really say that you can be 100% accurate. Somebody here says, The mission of that criminal court governor is to wipe out Biafra, but he is a big failure. All right. Um, Someone says supreme bleaching governor. Oh, you will bleach to death. Okay, wow. People think the man is bleaching. Okay, that's a whole new conversation. I mean, obviously these people are trying to cuss at the man, and of course are angry. These are their reactions. But what gives you the impression that he bleaches? I mean, honestly, that's a whole new conversation that there's no point getting into. Somebody says you're supposed to be treated like a deadly criminal ASAP. Those that stole election through Supreme Court were not so treated. Wow. All right. This episode government no freedom of press. Again, he has a right. He's a journalist. Of course, we understand that being a journalist is a dangerous job. But then again, it's like if a whole Twitter in which you don't even see physically who is tweeting, you don't know where the information is coming from. The information is just there. If that can allow for the government to ban Twitter, yeah, that is a lot. It does say a lot. So it's like you are very confident to be a journalist taking video evidence. Again, that would be very much incriminating. And I don't really think that's what they're looking for. But again, I don't know. I really don't know. It's really hard because it's like the fact is you can't really shame the shameless. You really cannot. So again, if you try to do anything that we feel okay, fine, would impact or struck the nerve of these politicians, you like they have no shame. They don't really care. So it's like, what else can you do to them that will make them feel remorseful about what they do, or just threaten their power and their position for just a little bit? It's just really like that. So again, I don't know, because again, we're trying to find solutions to this, and in a country where everything is upside down, like I don't know. But obviously, good luck to this man, though. I think that the best thing he has to do, obviously, get well, and I think that depending on the contract and depending on the labor laws in Nigeria, he should be able to. I mean, the actual, what do you call it, the people themselves, the people that he works for, the organization itself should be able to provide lawyers for him to sue and then go to court. But then again, it's like it's so discouraging, because then if you look at the overall judiciary in the country, it's just absolutely shambolic at this point. Is what it is. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.